Before we jump into today's show, we wanted to take a moment to pause and recognize something truly meaningful coming up next week. On Tuesday, November 11th, the city of Elizabethtown will commemorate Veterans Day with its annual Motorcade and ceremony, a time for our community to honor those who have served and sacrificed for our country. The day begins with the Veterans Motorcade departing from American Legion Park at 801 North Mile Street at 10:30 a.m. Veterans are invited to participate. Just arrive for lineup by 10 a.m. The procession, led by Elizabethtown Police Department, will travel up North Mile Street, turn left on Ring Road, and conclude at the Veterans Tribute and the Nature Park, located at 1900 Ring Road. At 11 a.m. sharp, the Veterans Day ceremony will begin with the posting of the colors. Time to commemorate the signing of the armistice on November 11th, 1918, the end of World War I. This year's keynote speaker is retired Command Sergeant Major Joe Garrett, commander of the Kentucky Department of the American Legion. The ceremony is free and open to the public, typically lasting 30 to 45 minutes. Seating is limited, so attendees are encouraged to bring lawn chairs. It's a moving event, a time for reflection, community, and gratitude. And we encourage everyone who can come out and show appreciation to our veterans to do so. We'll have these details posted on our Hardin Local Facebook page and on hardinlocal.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hardin Local Weekly. We're glad to see you guys here today on November 4th, shortly after 1 p.m. Let me bring everybody up. Hey, everybody. Before I get started, wanted to, if you haven't noticed, Nate's not here today. First time ever. He had a prior work engagement, and he will be back next week. But we have fill-ins that we are excited to talk to here. We have Britton and Michelle of the Experienced Eater and is it Red Brick Cottage? That's right.
Yes.
And Radcliffe. So we're glad to see you guys here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
It's great. We also have John O'Brien with events. How you doing, John?
Doing well.
Great. And Scott Lucas.
What's up, Phil?
I'm doing great. Other than me messing up your audio.
Always the tech guy's fault, right?
Yeah, definitely.
First rule of your responsibility.
You have to mute yourself, Scott. There you go. Go ahead.
If you're the tech guy, or if you're the teacher using technology, the first rule of that is it's going to go wrong and it'll be your fault. I mean, just how it falls down.
Of course. I got real annoyed about a little feedback and I had to make some changes, and now it's even 10 times worse. But we're glad to see you guys here the first week after daylight saving time. So that is my right? That is my icebreaker for today. I want to know what you all think about daylight saving time, not savings time. Saving. John, what do you think about it?
Doesn't affect me. It's either way. I really don't care.
What about you, Scott? You like it? I don't. I really wish the time would just stay the same, always and forever, and never change. And that's my opinion. What about you guys, Britton and Michelle?
I like the daylight in the end of the day as opposed to in the beginning.
Me too.
I like to do stuff. I like to be outside. I like to be doing stuff, and in the winter months, it's a lot easier at 50 and windy in the afternoon than it is at 28 and sunny brisk in the morning.
But it's amazing to me how that 1 hour totally can affect things. You wouldn't think 1 hour make that much difference, but it actually really does. Takes me a little while to acclimate.
Yeah.
And then you have to do it again,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a thing that they could adjust.
Yes, I just don't. I would prefer just not to change. It's way worse when it's spring forward. Fall back's not so bad, other than the daylight. It gets dark too early. We had a comment here from Laura saying, after living in Arizona, just stay on standard time. Just stay on that. All right. Well, we've got quite a bit going on today. We're going to change things up a bit since Nate's not here. We're going to have John O'Brien's going to go first with events, and then we're going to kind of combine our special guest segment with business updates with our discussion with Britton and Michelle. And am I saying both your names right? Pronounced?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just making sure. I've been known not to be the best at that, or just to call you a completely different name. I've been known to do that too.
Hey, just don't call me late to dinner.
That's right.
As the experienced eater, I would say
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to be an experienced eater if you were late to dinner. I don't know.
Right.
Being late's a rookie mistake.
Good to see you, Heather. I love it. I know that isn't the popular opinion, but I sleep easier on this schedule. To each their own is what I say. And that is the way it is. So I just have to accept it. There we go. How are you guys? Actually, that's the wrong note. That was the intro note. All right, we're gonna mix things up a little bit since Nate's out. Recently, I did run a poll on Hardin Local asking what type of segments you guys would like, what information we're not already providing that you would like. And we had foodie reviews of local restaurants. That was like number one on the list. So ever since then, I've been looking and I happened to find you guys, the experienced eater. And I take it eaters, not just eater.
Eater and associate.
There we go. Okay. So we're making that happen today. And I'm really excited about this one. So Britton and Michelle McDowell, the husband and wife duo behind the experienced eater and also the Red Brick Cottage right here in Radcliffe. I've been exploring the Hardin County's food scene and around the state, I guess, too. I've seen you guys go pretty far. And so like stick around for this. We're gonna get to know them a bit, and then we're gonna react to 3 other reviews. Those 3 reviews that they have. I got the video footage and everything. And the first one will be K-Pot because everybody loves K-Pot.
Right.
And then Social Food Hall will be second. Yep. And then we'll end with Little Charlie's. So it'd be fun. So before we dive into the food, I wanted to give Britton a chance to introduce himself and as well you too, Michelle. We'll start with Britton because we've talked quite a bit since we connected. So I didn't realize how many hats you've worn locally. Tell us a bit about your background and what's led you to where you are.
Well, I appreciate you guys having us on. It's been great getting to know. I've known Nate for a long time because when I first came to Hardin County, I was a football coach and a teacher. So I've known Nate from his reporting days and, gotten to know Phil recently. And, I'm always excited to be a part of something where you're promoting local. We're taking care of our own, and if we don't speak up and fight for ourselves, who's going to, right? And so I definitely appreciate Phil, your leadership doing that, and being able to put this podcast out, and the resources, and it's funny because Michelle, one of her things is, well, I didn't know that was going on, and so this is every week when I get the notification, I'm sending it to her so that she knows what's going on, to kind of keep it there. So I came to Hardin County in 2006. Via Western Kentucky. I grew up and was born and raised in a little town called Benton down on the lake. And I began indentured servitude at the age of 9 years old in my mom and dad's restaurant. And I said, family business. I think everybody on here has been involved in some aspect of a family business. And so I grew up. We had a place that was open 6 or 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And in third grade, I started bussing tables. Was my summer job. Yeah. So that's. And so that background in the restaurant business, and I worked that full time, plus taught school, plus coached football, being at my mom's beck and call, basically
24 hours a day,
doing that, and that gave me some chops in the kitchen and understanding how the restaurant business works and how that goes. And we started doing the TikTok food reviews. I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. It hadn't been a real long time. And it's something, I started doing reviews actually on Google. And so as we travel for business and my business and her business, and we travel, we just kind of use that to keep track of where we've been and what we do. And if you can find it's Britton McDowell on Google, you can see I've got over 120 million views of content and, 6,000-7,000 reviews on there. And then, Michelle one day said, we ought to do this on TikTok. We'd watched the guy do a review and he was excited. And super guy. We've met him and actually known, but he was, he didn't have a lot of understanding or technical side of how things ended how they are. He's like, oh, that was good, but he couldn't tell you why.
You can have a surface understanding, or you can have a really deep understanding.
And so, being a teacher, I kind of like I over explain. I'm a mansplainer sometimes, and so I kind of put that in with the food thing. But I came to Hardin County in 2006. Teach school, coach football. I was in Hardin County Schools, coached at North Hardin for several years. And then I got involved in a business and was able to figure out I like being my own boss better than working for somebody. And I tried to retire and I'll work for my wife. I've got a T-shirt that says that. I should have wore that.
I bought him one.
And
says,
what's that shirt say?
My wife.
I tried to retire, but now I work for my wife. And so that kind of got us here. And, and then once I got in business for myself and Michelle and I got together in 2010. I've always been around the Red Brick Cottage. I've been involved in the Small Business Alliance here in Radcliffe. got a ton of connections from kids, from young adults now. Then, my last group that I taught they're in their 30s now, so they're business owners and things like that. And then being connected through our church and other organizations.
B&I.
I'm also on the tourism commission here, the Radcliffe Fort Knox Tourism Commission.
You were president of the Radcliffe Small Business Association. I mean, there's just lots of connections for sure.
Yes.
And so, and Michelle's a lifelong Hardin Countyan. So
yeah.
Here we are.
Why don't you tell us, Michelle, a little bit about how you got to where you are, and then finish with the Red Brick Cottage, and that's
well, the Red Brick Cottage as a whole has been in business. In May, it'll be 40 years that we've been in business here in Hardin County.
Wow.
My parents had it growing up. I went to school for interior design. After my mom retired, I took it over. And we have just been very fluid with changes, keeping up with what's popular. We originally started out with gifts, home decor, antiques. But to make it 40 years, you have to change and remain relevant with what's popular. And so with that, we did. We kept changing and kept changing and kept changing. And at one point, we decided to venture a little into boutique clothing in curvy, mid, and plus sizes, because that is something that you just can't go anywhere and get. And I think in today's world, with so much competition out there, you have to come up with something that is specific. You got to have a neat little niche. And it's like, if you build it, they will come scenario. So in doing that, we figured out that boutique clothing in the plus sizes, curvy, mid, and plus, it's like sizes 10 through 30. You just can't go anywhere and find something. So we started focusing on that. And we were kind of getting the ball rolling. And then this thing called COVID happened. And we just thought, oh, all this hard work is just going to crash. And we were like, you know what? We got to make lemonade out of the lemons. And so we said, okay, what can we do to survive? So we said, let's start doing lives on Facebook. We're just getting started. And we're like, okay, let's do this. So we taught ourselves how to do it. The statement that Britt makes is that we built the airplane going down the runway, and we just jumped in and started doing it and took advantage of everybody being at home and everything. Of course, online, social media, everything went crazy. Our business went nuts. And over a matter of about, 2 months, 3 months max, our business quadrupled, and we just have been rocking and rolling ever since. And the plus size clothing has just been wonderful. And there's the same, people feel the same way about it no matter where you are. You just can't go anywhere and get something really, really nice. Okay. So breathe. I know I get so excited about it. It's like so passionate, and you get that way when your heart's in the right place about something, and from there, we discovered another niche when our daughter, Georgia, was trying to find a prom dress, and she's 6 feet tall. She's a big girl, and we could not find her a prom dress. And we said, oh my gosh, there's kind of maybe another little interesting niche. So we took that, and I found some companies who were willing to make wedding dresses, prom dresses, bridesmaid dresses, mother and grandma dresses in larger sizes that are correct. They're fit correctly. They're sewn correctly. They're quality. And so we have taken an entire section of our boutique and then have now changed it into wonderful bridal, formal wear, event wear. And that has taken off like crazy as well. And that's really kind of our two-sided focus, is part boutique and part dresses. And it's been absolutely incredible how excited everybody has been to be able to have those things for them now. And we have even people coming from farther away to shop with us, because again, you just can't go somewhere and get something like that. So I love that we're also bringing people to Hardin County with what we're doing too. So it's been an amazing adventure, and it was just a really special niche that we have filled, and we're doing great with it. So I just want to encourage everybody to come see us, check everything out on our social media, and come see what we have to offer. And we do have something for everyone, no matter your size, but we're specializing in those harder to find sizes. So come see us. It's amazing.
Yes. And I added your guys' Facebook page to our link tree, which you can get to by going to hardinlocal.com.
Great.
And I noticed you guys have close to 40,000 followers on Facebook. So that's pretty impressive. So that's great.
Yes.
And I also added their link tree for the Experience Theater on our hardinlocal.com page too. So you can find those links there. So
I'll put up everything on my page for you guys, because when you're doing this social media thing, it's all about helping each other. You each have to do it for each other to make it work. It's not a one-way road. It's a two-way street, and it makes all the difference in the world. So this will go out to all those people, plus all the people on our private shopping group and all that. So we'll get this out to maybe a total of about 75, 80,000 people by the time you look at all of our pages. So spreading that love. That's what we have to do for each other.
Right.
Right?
We appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. And I'll make sure to have like the segments edited out too and provide those to you guys too.
Great.
And we can that way we can cross promote those things.
So the background then begs the question: how do we get to how did we get to where we are now? You know, and so with our businesses, because I do some business coaching, consulting, and some stuff too. That has all led to our travel, and that's what started us on the food reviews. And then being so local, we're so dependent upon local people that it was important to us that we really wanted to start focusing on our local places because, in Radcliffe, you have a diversity of food available that's unlike anywhere else that we've traveled and been.
Yes.
And then you factor in, there's Dr. Sizemore. Hey, Doc.
Pete was just on there too.
And then you take into consideration, or you factor into that, Hardin County then has a food scene that's unlike that's anywhere that we've ever been. I use the example for To Be Thai. That's been having a meltdown if y'all hear that. I hope it don't. But To Be Thai is probably the best Thai restaurant that we've ever been to, and we've eaten Thai from California to Florida, and so we're blessed to have such a great scene. And so we just felt like it was, that since we focus on, trying to buy local, do everything we can local, that we highlight as many of those businesses at home as possible. It
was like the next natural step.
Right, for what we do. And so, one of our coolest things that I was really excited about, like I think it's my second highest video that we have, was for a Korean place here in Radcliffe that has struggled because of the closing of the gate. And we went in, and so the daughter of the owner came into the shop and was like, we've had people come in, show us this video, and it just reinforced what we're doing and the responsibility that we have.
They had hundreds of them. Were like, oh my gosh, look at what you've done for us. She was literally almost in tears. Oh my gosh, the amount of people that came in after this video and specifically came in and showed us and said, we came because of this video. And then now they're there experiencing their food and helping them make money, especially when they're having a hard time with the gate. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to be done, not only for them, but for somebody else to do, as well. I mean, it's just amazing what can come from that sharing of information on social media.
Mm-hmm. So getting more into the experience eater side, do you guys, and before we do that, there was a comment I didn't put up on here from Danny O'Brien, which is a good segue. Danny's always commenting. We love to see you here. Of those three places, I vote Little Charlie's is top of those three on my list. I guess he was talking about the ones that we're doing. Just need a better location with better parking, more to eat to get the full experience. My 2 cents. But anyway, needless to say, we all have our own opinions. And that was kind of a lead into the question of, do you both approach food the same way, or is one of you the more adventurous eater?
So I think we're both very adventurous. I think I'm a little more adventurous than she is. She has a bigger do not eat list than I do.
Yes.
But our approach has always been, we go out. The kind of the inspiration we really started on our foodie adventures was diners, drive-ins, and dives. Trying to find those mom and pop places. We try to eat local mom and pops before we will anything else. Now there are some chains that we'll eat at, just depending on what our options are. But if we have a choice between a locally owned mom and pop place, that's where we're going to go, because we understand as a small business how important those dollars are.
We know
because hey, anybody can shop big box. Anybody can shop online and let Temu and Amazon just send it to their door. But those dollars don't come back to those aren't. The Amazon shop that you're at, it's not going to be who sponsors your kid's ball team. It's not going to be who puts the banners up. It's not going to be who's paying the property tax.
Giving you donations.
Doing the things for your school. And nothing. And this is my soapbox here, but I mean, and we've had people that do this. They come in and ask for a donation, and at the same time they're talking about what they're bragging about what they bought cheap on whatever XYZ site. And it just, they want the small businesses to support them, but it's not necessarily as reciprocal as it needs to be.
Everything's a two-way street.
So the experienced eater came about going out there to do those things. That's how we started. As we traveled, we looked for those things on the diners, drive-ins, and dives, because I thought it was cool to go somewhere and say, hey, we saw that on TV.
Yeah.
And the first place that we did that is still one of my all-time favorite restaurants, is a place in Nashville called Arnold's Country Kitchen. We went to Arnold's the first time, and I had a spiritual awakening, spiritual moment, because it was one of the few places I've been that reminded me almost like my mom's food, and how we had it at her restaurant. And so being able to go through and do that, and experience those things, and then now being able to share that and make those recommendations, it's pretty cool, because, we can help businesses. And that's one of the things we want to always try to, we try to, if we don't have a great experience, I'm a little better at being a little more diplomatic in my answers, because somebody is a little more harsh than I am. And that's kind of the give and take of what we do is from that standpoint, and then also I try to use my experience in the kitchen to, that I can. That's the other thing too, I guess, for the adventurous part, is I generally don't go out and eat what I can cook at home. Just kind of keeps you from being disappointed or being, unless I'm just really tired, decided that, hey,
unless we're really hungry,
it's not worth it today.
Oh, that's great. I think we'll move over here and do a little reacting to this first clip, which we'll set it up here. It's K-Pot, Elizabethtown. When did you guys?
Yeah,
I put this up last night while we were doing one of our live sales, so she hasn't seen this.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So
this is great. Then this will be real interesting. Because I haven't watched it all the way through either. I kept myself from doing it because, I wanted to see. So the way we'll do this is we'll play it and just so you know, like some of your background music, I had to get out of it. So we didn't get this an issue with the stream.
Very noisy. It was very noisy in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some background music too that was like even just on one of the video edits. And so there may be just like some silence there. But if you want to make a comment, just speak up. I'll pause the video. But we'll go ahead and get started.
Hey guys, Experienced Eater here. It's a Sunday afternoon and we're out and about. So we're going to go do late lunch, early dinner.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go hit up K-Pot here in Elizabethtown.
Green barbecue.
So see what they have for us. All right, Mom. So we're here at K-Pot in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And explain this tablet thing. Is this wicked smoke coming behind you there? So.
Well, this was a little challenging for me because I'm not super tech savvy. So definitely want to bring somebody with you who has a little bit of tech skill, because they bring it to you on this iPad and you have to pick out what you want and submit your order here on the iPad. They bring it to you from the kitchen. You cook it yourself. All kinds of sauces and extras up there at the bar.
Well, I will say this, that our server, Tony, was super, super helpful. And so our meat order is in. So we're going to go and see what's on the buffet. Let's go.
That's good.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Just rolling it out. All right. So here's
good.
our first order. This is some beef bulgogi, garlic shrimp, the K-Pot steak, which looks like a ribeye. There is some short rib that Mom and I are going to share. And then that is some pork bulgogi. And then we got just some other stuff, some rice, some potatoes, or eating peppers.
There's some other vegetables coming too, because we don't have everything here yet.
I remember.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty?
So we got that's spicy bulgogi, short rib, some peppers, onion, and then this is all that comes. All right. We are flipping the bulgogi, trying to get a little char on there, get a good.
How is cooking it yourself? How's that go? Like, did you like it?
So yeah, this I would, if I want to go have bulgogi for lunch, I'm going to go to a couple of the places that are here because to do this. But this is an experience place. You go there, special occasion. They've got it's loud. There's big lights. They've got people singing.
It's flashy.
This is something that definitely for special occasions. And so yeah, it's kind of fun to do, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. But I've had some people that had commented on it, said that for that price, I'd rather go somewhere where they're going to cook it for me, because I mean, and I didn't show it in the video, but they give you a chart. They explain how long stuff needs. It's very easy. It's kind of like paint by numbers. They lay it out very easy for you to be able to do. So if you want to try that or do that, I mean, it's a great opportunity for somebody to go and do something kind of off the path, I guess, or the different from the usual.
You're right. Let's keep watching.
I'm gonna tell you the
char's flavor
is great.
What was it?
The short rib flip, I think it's got a lot of char on it. It was really good.
Yeah, all right.
Check out this short rib.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That was like an issue with the audio filter removing the background noise. Sorry.
All right. So Here we go. First batch of bulgogi, Mama. Hopefully your plate there.
You got to give it a little cut. I'm going to dip it into the sauce, some rice, veggies with it, some mouse water. You get the everything around it smells so good.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you what, it is a flavor bomb. It is almost sensory overload for me. I'm about ready to cut that short rib up.
Yeah, onion ring. There you go.
Of an onion ring. And I develop the next one on to cook while we're eating this.
One of those. You would have those.
It's funny and I'll say this, that once I become a little more acclimated to using the using the tools that you have, I think it's one of those things. This would be a great family activity. You get five. They had booths that was really neat. They put us at a table for if you did the because you can do the hot pot or the barbecue, or you can do them both. We were at a table for both, but it was like for two to four people. And I could just see, if you have a family, taking a family out and doing this, it could be really interesting. It could also be a chaotic disaster, providing your group is not socially able to handle this much responsibility.
I think you almost need to have one person in charge of the cooking. Like that would be my suggested.
Of course, you
would. Yeah, just one person in charge of the cooking, because in that way you're making sure everything's done right. It's definitely not something that I don't think you want your kids doing. Maybe your kids could flip something for you or something, but it's hot, so but man, did it smell good. Oh my gosh, all that food cooking and it right in front of you. It was amazing.
So when I was in college, I lived in the dormitory, and one of the things that was really cool is certain days of the week when the cafeteria was back, you could go down the hall and you could smell what everybody was cooking. And that was kind of like, it was neat because you had people all around you that they were cooking too. So the smells were just, it was really neat. It was just a really neat experience to go through that.
Yeah, let's finish this one. It's almost over.
The short rib. There you go. For a little beef bulgogi here. Ooh, it's hot. Hope it don't burn my face off. That's sweet when the heat will sneak up on you. That's really good. All right, so this is a ribeye that I got my own little special marinade on. They're super thin, so they'll cook quick. I'm just going to char each side and then throw this thing on a plate. I'm sure I'll share it with Mom. I'm sure she will appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the end of that one. So, what's the guy that always does the pizza reviews? David Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy. El Presidente.
Right, everybody knows the rules.
So what's your rating on this meal?
I would give them, I think it was $32 a person. So, we got out, it was about $80 with tip. That's a little more than we usually like to spend for a meal for just us. That's a good family meal rate for us, between 80 and 100 if we have our daughter with us and maybe mother-in-law or something like that. But, like I said, you're not just paying for the food in this, you're paying for the experience. Is this something that I've got to go do every week? No. Once a month would probably be too much, but maybe once a quarter for a special occasion. But I'd give the food definitely. The food was an 8.5. I mean, really good. The atmosphere was a little too much for me. I mean, there's lights, there's a lot going on, and I'm much more low key than that. But overall, I mean, it was a good. I gave them 5 stars across everything except for atmosphere on Google when I did that review, just because it was
needed to tone
so much,
a little bit. Yeah.
But I understand there's some people that thrive in that environment. Yeah. I don't think any of us that are on here are that environment kind of people, just kind of guessing, looking at us. But like I said, I'm sure there are some that's right up their alley, just not me.
Aaron Cundiff just said, he was a friend of the program, Britton McDowell, I'll be waiting for a sample of your cooking.
The ongoing joke in Radcliffe is that there's a waiting list to come to dinner at my house.
Yeah.
Kind of go with it. And, the big meals are always, Thanksgiving and Christmas and Father's Day, Mother's Day are always there. We'll end up 10, 15, 20 people at our house.
We've had upwards of 30 people at our house.
And there's a waiting list to go with it. But a lot of times we have lunch at the shop on Fridays, and I cook a lot of times. Yeah. So we might be.
And we invite people in to come eat lunch with us on Fridays too. Here, nice.
David just was commenting with melting pot and how he didn't care as much for that atmosphere either. Which I think that's fair. And he has to leave though. He just said, "Thank you for your comments, David. Thank you for stopping by."
Now, one thing I will say about K-Pot that I thought was added to the value was that if you do the dinner barbecue, it's $32 or whatever it is. It is all you can eat, but you do have a 2-hour limit, so you can really try a lot of things and do that. So that's one of the parts that I really appreciated that, because in our time there, but before, I only got through about 3/4 of the menu. So there were some things that I didn't, because she had the iPad, but I didn't delve into that would be fun to try the next time we go back.
But huge variety. I mean, between all they had beef, pork, chicken, and all kinds of seafood that you could choose from. And then there were multiple vegetables. And then they have a bar that's like up against the wall. That is a sauce bar, a marinade bar that you could go and make all these different concoctions to put on your meat, make your own sauces, mix and match, just get as crazy as you want. They had all kinds of seasoning. They had some other little dessert
they had
things.
Some desserts, and they had some side dishes.
Some little side things,
and,
they had some things for kids. They had some things for kids there too. If you just wanted simple French fries. And what else did we get there?
French fries, cheese sticks, spring rolls,
some other little things, so that if you have picky eater kids, there's some simple things that will help satisfy them. But it was neat to be able to go and have such a huge assortment. And I almost would say, for somebody who wasn't experienced cookers, it might be a little overwhelming that there was so much. You'd be like, oh my gosh, where do I start? But that's the point. You just start somewhere and grow. Grow back the next time, do something different. Go back the next time, do something different. It was a huge assortment of stuff. And tons of flavors. It was good. The bulgogi was my favorite.
We know they have a big following, because when we were publishing that they were opening, I mean, and it did drag out. So, but we even had John O'Brien here. He went over and set up a chair and acted like somebody was camping out the night before, which that was pretty funny. We'll move on now to the next clip, which is the social food hall, and it looks like. Yeah, let's just get into it.
Hey guys, Experience Theater here, and we're in Elizabethtown, Kentucky tonight, and we're going to go check out the Social Food Hall downtown. Let's see what they have for us.
You had some music playing here that I had to cut out.
I don't drink. I've never been a drinker.
All right, guys.
The bar selection and the way that works there is really fascinating, and it's impressive.
We had to figure it out.
Yes, and so when I go somewhere, the bar is never a factor for me. But I know that's something that that a lot of people enjoy, and that's one of the things about the social food hall is that I think they have a big variety, and it's a pretty neat little automated system they have with their cards and opening your tab and going through it. So I mean that's something that I think a lot of people if they don't know, that would really enjoy about that particular venue.
Yeah, and as we kind of learned how things worked, you go in, and if you're going to drink, you go in and you go to the bar. And you give them your credit card, and you get like a little, they give you another little like swipe card. And then every time you go to the wall that's full of all of the taps, they've got all kinds of beer, they have mixed drinks, and they have wine all on tap. And so you go and say, you take your card, and each thing you want to drink, you swipe it. They give you pump out your alcohol into your glass, and it just accumulates on your tab. And then before you leave, you pay your tab and check out at the end of the night. That's something that we had to really figure out. We had never experienced that before. We thought that was really neat. And then there's all the food stalls, and we just work our way around and try all kinds of stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I really like the way they have it set up there too. And I think that when they changed the name to Social Food Hall from Social Hall Main, that was a smart idea too, mainly for tourism. But let's get back into this review.
The Great Sandwich Search is continuing. This is the Southern Smash from Street Kitchen here at the Social Food Hall. And then over here, hang on a second. That's got bacon jam, bacon, some peppers on it, and tomato cheese. And then over here, this is the Vampire Killer, and it's got garlic, everything on it, aioli, grilled onions, mushrooms, all kinds of stuff. So let's see how these eat.
And you guys garlic parm tots.
And garlic parm tots. There we go now. Oh, fried and beef fell over.
Oh, my.
There are some high hopes here.
Those burgers look really good, and I know John O'Brien's been talking about them.
They're good.
Yeah. I guess you're going to talk about it here, the burger itself, next.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
One of the things that I want to say, being a bigger guy my whole life, I've been door sized since I was like in 6th grade. People sometimes I feel like they cast a little judgment on me based on my, when they see my tray. And so when we went to the food hall, we actually had a couple other people with us. And so everybody got something different, and we share. That's generally our rule of, that's one of the things that we do when we roll somewhere and we're doing a review is we find out what the top things are. And then, we usually have a couple of people with us. And so then we spread it out. And then that way we can get a broader sampling to kind of get an idea of what they're putting out as their product. To go with it. So like this night at Social Food Hall, I got the burger. Michelle got a burger. Her brother Paul got the hibachi, and then we all split a pizza. So we had for the four of us we had that, and so we spread the love around a little bit to be able to get to be able to get a little bit of
We got
a
something
broader
from everybody.
sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
All right, guys, this is the Southern burger. Look at that. Tomato cheese, bacon jam, and peppers on here. Let's see how this goes.
It's hard to hunch one-handed. Usually she films so I can get the hunch down to be able to do that.
Oh, I can eat. Almost like a BLC day. That's a little bit of heat. That's a good burger. All right. See how this garlic or this vampire killer is.
Yeah, let's see.
The audio again. What were you saying there? Do you remember?
That it was pretty tasty. But I'm a garlic lover, and that was their garlic burger. So for me to actually get enough garlic, I liked it. I thought it was really good.
And I will go ahead and just put this disclaimer out there. If there's two words to describe Michelle's eating experience, it is always more sauce.
More sauce. I want more sauce on everything.
More sauce.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And they've got plenty of extra sauce
Okay.
over there too. They got all the sauce bar there too. You get all the sauce
Yeah.
you need.
Yeah, and I did go up and have them give me another little thing of sauce because I literally like to dunk my burger in the sauce. So yeah,
she shook them down. She didn't just go up; she shook them down.
Well, I mean, at least like they hooked you up.
yeah.
Lots of places, very small amount of sauce for $1.
I'm gonna say, like you there, I always want more sauce on everything, so I'm gonna go get some more sauce. But that's pretty tasty. I like that. That's crazy.
There she is shaking down the sauce
Oh,
right now.
Good crisp, good flavor. Excellent. All right, guys. This is from Wasabi. We got some fried rice, the chicken hibachi dinner, and some steamed noodles. Or not steamed noodles, steamed dumplings. And would you look at that? Telling you, this is at the Circle Food Hall in Etown, and I'm completely impressed by this. Mama likes some hibachi.
I get like hibachi. I get teriyaki chicken. Maybe a piece of broccoli with that.
A lot of our entourage does not want to be on camera.
Yeah, nobody wants to be on camera. So we always like shuffle the food all the way around, and it's always funny because sometimes there's other people. Like in that scenario, there were other people at our big shared table. And they're watching, like trying to figure out what we're doing, and we're filming. And it's always a good time. It's always interesting.
All right, let's finish this one. 20 more
Pretty
seconds.
tasty, guys.
All right. Mama's not a fan of zucchini, but I am.
I love zucchini.
I've got a good balanced flavor. So the soy, on the teriyaki, and the one of garlic.
Great. That one's over. So, I'm going to do this for all three. What, rate Social Food Hall, 0 to 10. What'd you up there?
I give them, nothing's going to be a 10. So I'm kind of like Portnoy on that, the Presidente. So if something makes 9, that's an A for me. And I would give Social, I would give them overall as an experience. They're definitely a 9 because they have a variety for everything. They've also got, they've got the night that we were there. It was the DJ with everybody had their headphones, which I thought was really crazy. That
So silent DJ.
DJ.
Mhm.
Yeah. Silent disco. Yeah.
Yeah, the silent disco, and then then the bowling was there. But food wise, they were definitely we had because of the variety. I'd give them probably like an 8.5. But as far as something to do, they definitely be a 9 because we also people watching is always good. Now, and I did for Mail Yards. I think it's how you say it, Mail Yards Pizza. We did get a pizza. I didn't make the review. It was excellent. Wood fire pizza. It was something different. I think it was the one that has the honey and the peppers on it. It was really tasty.
Mm-hmm.
So so overall, it was a good variety. It was a good time. We really enjoyed ourselves. I think we were there probably for about 2.5 hours that night. And if I can go somewhere and have my attention held for 2.5 hours, that's a pretty good indicator that it's worth some time for, because if it's not, I'm like.
And it's an interesting experience because it's not just food. There's other things to do there. There's, like you said, there's a variety of things, and it's a great place to go and be social, hence the name. Great place if you're going with a group of people that you could all go. Everybody can drink, have their own tickets, get different food. I think it's a great concept. We've seen it in other cities, and I'm thrilled to have something like that in Elizabethtown. That's a great step up because, as we all know, there's not a whole lot of nightlife or things to do in Etown after, say, 8 p.m. So I thought it's a great place. We go back, I don't know, maybe once a month or so. We go and get something different. Yeah, great experience.
From the first time that the food hall opened, since I've changed out a couple of the vendors.
Mhm.
I'm much happier with the offering that they currently have
They've made some
than,
improvements.
than when they've definitely upgraded each time they've changed over their vendors, which that's something that I appreciate, that somebody, that they're on a they're being intentional about improvement also.
Yeah, they're big on that. They've done a good job with it. I've noticed that too. Like just my friend group going there more often than we were before. So they definitely improved. So what I did notice, those beef tallow, not beef tallow. What was it? The tots. Those
Beef
look
tallow,
good.
that's right.
Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It
Were
makes-
they worth the calories?
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you're up on beef tallow, that's kind of there's a big movement in actually in the health and wellness away from seed oils and things like that. And tallow is a natural fat. Tallow, lard, butter, those natural fats, they say, definitely say they're better for you, and they definitely improve the flavor.
They were rich.
Yes.
Yeah, they were rich. There definitely was a taste difference, but the only way you can describe it is rich.
Yes.
This them right here.
They were good. We ate
Okay.
them all.
Yeah.
And a lot of your fried potatoes, a lot of places don't get them crisp enough, but it's they had a great crisp to them, soft on the inside, crunchy on the outside, and great, very, very good depth of flavor for something as simple as a potato tot.
What's your favorite burger there, John?
Right now, it's the Southern. It was the Vamp Killer. That Southern, it just came out with it, I think, about 3 weeks ago. It's up there. For one reason, really, the pimento cheese. Like a lot of sandwiches have pimento cheese, but it melts off and it kind of gets sloppy. That one held together so good. I'd actually talked to Kurt, like, how are you doing that? He's like, well, he makes the pimento cheese himself, and he only steams it just a little bit when he's cooking it, so it holds together better on the burger.
That's good. That's cool. That's interesting.
Currently in the food scene right now, beef tallow, frying, chicken, potatoes, that's very big. But then also the smash burger is kind of it's kind of like the tippity top of the list right now. That's what people are driven for, and you'll see people paying $16, $17, $18 for smash burgers because they're wanting the gourmet or the unique experience of something, the specialty of something like this. And I think they had it at Street Kitchen, but one of the things, the smash burgers I make at home is it's called an Oklahoma onion burger, and it's sweet Vidalia onions. Your meat's cooked on top of it. You flip it, and so it's charred. So you char the onions, and it's served. It's a salt and pepper only, and you really got to be careful when you get into the condiments because it's supposed to be served with pickles, the onion, and only mustard. That's like the intent. That's like the pure burger that goes with it, and it's one of those things that when I make them at home in a cast iron skillet, it's just.
So now you're gonna have to invite both of them over to our house for. We're gonna have to extend a special invite for burger night one night.
Well, you can't say.
We're ready.
Aaron was going to get me on that. I met Aaron in person the first time on Sunday, and working on the Stone Soup project, and it was we instantly got along really well. But yeah, it's the smash burger is kind of like it's the fad right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed, and I learned that I didn't know that meant also that the beef had never been frozen. I didn't realize that until more recently.
Well,
so I guess that's
any of your best burgers, that should be the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. My mom just asked, can my parents come eat too?
Well, seeing as how your dad and I, have been our circles have crossed, but we've never actually met. We probably need to do that too.
Yeah, I agree. Let's make it happen. And I want to circle back after this last review. And I know we're going longer than normal, but that's okay. If you can't watch, come back and I'll have all these segments edited up to where they don't take as long to watch. You can always come finish them. But we're definitely going to try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so. But I do want you to talk about that Stone dinner, but let's get on to Little Charlie's.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Stuffed buffalo chicken pizza here, and then a barbecue chicken, pepperoni and sausage on it. Here at Little Charlie's in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I'm excited to see this, and there's more to come. So this is the buffalo chicken. It's too big to pick up. It's super thick, so let's see how it is.
They don't listen to these after.
Like that.
One of our really good friends is named Amber, and she works with us here at the Red Brick Cottage. And and we've all been working together. She's worked here for going on 14 years, and so when you work that tightly with a group, everyone's tells and mannerisms and their methods of operation. And she can watch a video and she can watch a video of me eating and without the volume on, and she can tell you what I'm going to do because my eyes tell the story. And that's one of the things that if anybody subscribes to our TikTok or you follow us, you'll see, that you can tell when I light up, you can tell that it's something to get excited over.
Yeah, let's get back to it. And like, feel free to talk over it if it gets garblish again. I was just trying to make sure that we didn't get copyright.
Facebook's terrible.
Right, barbecue chicken. Cheers. It's like crust is so crisp, so with barbecue sauce, so heaven.
And that barbecue chicken was really good, but after having the buffalo first, you had a little bit of a difference in just a little. Both of them good in their own rights, but the buffalo was superior on that day.
It's okay. My mama's getting the buffalo chicken pizza here.
Ooh, I'm a buffalo chicken anything junkie, so
That's one of the best things I've ever. That's one of the best pizzas I've ever had here.
You are not joking. We're taking one of those home with us.
I haven't had it. I'm gonna have to get it.
Yeah, I think they call it a stuffed pizza because it's double crust and it's
Oh, mama has help. Would you look at that? It's crust hard with the undercarriage. It was fantastic. All right, barbecue chicken. Shoot it.
Oh, I ended up with a double on that.
That crust is so crisp, so with barbecue sauce, so heaven.
One of the things about the videos that I try to do, and I'm not intentionally sloppy but I think that with social media stuff's so polished sometimes that I think the raw, real reaction and it being a little rough around the edges is very appealing to. We found that a lot of our people they like the realness of our content.
It's not staged.
Yeah,
it's true reaction. It's true reaction.
That is true. That people, I mean, that's why we do ours live. I mean, there's a couple reasons, but one is so it's not overly polished.
Yep.
So, I mean, I can already tell that you guys really like this pizza.
The couple slices of pizza that we had there. What'd you like best about it?
both of them are fabulous. But I tell you what, that double decker, that barbecue one, or the buffalo chicken one, oh my gosh, fantastic, off the chart. The barbecue was great too. Two of my favorites, but that was outstanding.
So if you're looking for a great sandwich at lunch at a great value, check out Little Charlie's. The Rodrigo special. They usually have a sandwich, they've had the Italian stallion. They also had a mozzarella capri sandwich today. Give them a chance. And
there we go. Does the sandwiches are good too?
Well, so that's what we went for. Was I'm kind of doing it's just when we get a sandwich, the great sandwich search, and that was actually why we went in because I'd gotten a sandwich a couple of weeks before, and I'd stopped in to see what it was, and then. Well, the pizza looked so good while we were there, so we did that. And then we use, that's another thing that we do is that we take multiples, there's multiple content, we take multiple different things so that you can, I can get a couple of different videos usually from one or two visits. And we might have a day, like we've done this before where we were in Louisville. So we hit 4 different places up and only got one thing there, like their signature thing and just, and kind of built around it. Because we are very conscientious budget wise. I like to ball on a budget, and since we're not making any big bucks off TikTok yet, we can't be we gotta keep it reasonable to say the least.
I think it's great what you're doing. I really do. Highlighting local restaurants while running your own local business. It's pretty smart. So for everyone watching, be sure to follow the Experience Theater and stop by the Red Brick Cottage in Radcliffe. And we'll add links in the comments on this post, but you can go to hardinlocal.com and just look at our most recent podcast links, and it's right there. You can find everything. And I think if you're a local business owner watching, you can also go to their website from if I'm not mistaken, the link tree has a contact form. So if somebody wanted to request you come review their food, is that the best way?
Always appreciate. And I'll tell you something else too. And I had this conversation. It's I try to always accentuate the positives, but I have no problem if somebody wanted to know, hey, what can we do better, of going in and doing some consulting to help them to be able to improve their process, and because it's always about, like Marcus Lemonis says, it's Lemonis. It's about people, product, and process, and that's, I think that's part of the reason why we've been successful with the online venture with the Red Brick, with our clothing and the dresses, is that we continually work to refine our process to make sure that we have excellent products, and then we're able to really focus on and deliver quality care and customer service to our people. And in food service is the same way, and even creating content like you guys are doing here is the same way. Where, you focus on the process, you focus on the product, and you want to make sure that your people find the value and feel serviced by, when they consume it. And so, and I think that we live in a time where we forget that we let things divide us. We let people say, "Oh, I don't talk to that person because they don't vote how I do, or they don't believe, they don't go to church like I do," and we forget that we always have way more in common, and we have way more things that we can be happy and celebrate and talk about than we can be arguing and upset about. And when you put that focus on the people and who you're interacting with, who you're serving, and who you're around, really good things happen. And, and I think that's one of the reasons why Hardin County is such a great place to be, is because I think we have some people that are on the fringe, that are out there. They're a little hard. They're unlovable some days, but I think the for the most part that everybody that's here is they're ready to do what they can to help people. They're ready to support people, and they know that they're not doing it so that somebody does it back to them, but they know that if they take good care of people, that people are going to take care of them.
I agree. I forgot to ask you, Little Charlie's on a scale of 0 to 10.
9. They are easily in my top 5 restaurants in Hardin County.
All right. What is your top one in Hardin County?
So I'll just, but if my top 5 in no specific order, To Be Thai, Song's Korean restaurant, Song's Kitchen.
2 different places.
2 different places.
Very different from each other.
Let's see, that's 3. Little Charlie's would be 4, and then my other favorite place, and they are underrated, and they always perform as Namaste Indian.
Yes.
Yes, I love that place, and the To Be Thai too. One of my favorites.
To Be Thai is a great story. Patrick was an immigrant. He tried to figure out what he could do. He started working in some restaurants in the Louisville area where he lives. And then he found the opportunity to get this there. And he had his, at one point it was his mom, his wife, and he's got some aunts and some family members, and they run that business, and they do a fantastic job.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
one of the things that I'll say is when it comes to rating restaurants, all right, I encourage you to do it this way, is if you're somewhere and you said, okay, my mom and dad, or my in-laws, or somebody that's important to you is coming, and you ask the question is, where would you take? Somebody else that I left off the list, and Francisco's going to beat me because we eat there at least twice a week, El Molino in Radcliffe. They are
stellar.
They are a fantastic authentic Mexican restaurant. So, you do that, and that's what that's how I, when I'm picking places is, would I take my family there? Would I take, if I had somebody coming from
special guest
from Atlanta, where would I take? That I would want them to have a good experience, and then be able to say good things about what we do.
That's great. Now, before I get into the conclusion, I want to give you a chance to talk about, since Nate isn't here, and I know you, Nate, and Aaron are working on that stone soup dinner. Do you want to give a quick plug for that?
So yeah, this is something that, like I said, good people doing good things. I believe Ezekiel Daraway was if I got his name wrong, I'm sorry, but he's the manager of Little Charlie's, and had the idea because of the shutdown, the possible loss of SNAP benefits and some things like that. He wanted to put together an event to be able to just provide some food and some stuff to people, be community based, no government involvement, but it just be kind of a grassroots movement. And he floated this idea to Nathan and to Aaron. And then I kind of got on the tail end because it's going to happen in Elizabethtown at ECTC. The gentleman that has these butts and kind of overseeing the cafeteria there at ECTC. I think it's Dave. I can't remember his last name. Volunteered to do that and host it. And so we're going to be serving on I believe it's on the 15th of November. It's a Saturday. They're going to be providing a spaghetti dinner to the community. And what was interesting is this started to get some traction. And you talk about good people doing good things. The number, I don't know how Aaron is keeping track of everyone that's wanting to donate,
right.
just wanting to be involved and volunteer. I volunteered to cook. I'll do whatever somebody needed to do. Michelle will be right there with us in that. It's just a way to give back, because, if you help enough people get what they want, you don't have to worry about what you want. And serving others is the great, in our church one Sunday, I said, if you're depressed, you're upset, you're frustrated, you want to feel better, find somebody you can serve.
Right.
And if you're serving, you're going to improve. And so the stone soup is, the old fable tale is everybody in the town comes together at the center square. Everybody brings what they can. If it's a stone, it's a stone, or if it's a carrot, it's a potato. Everybody puts what they pull their resources, they put it in there, and then they're able to provide for everyone. And that's the same premise here. And so we have one planned. It's Elizabethtown. It's going to be, I think it's 4 to 7 on the 15th of November. And then there's a second one planned that's going to be December 20th in Radcliffe.
Location to be determined.
No,
You got it finished?
we're pretty certain, but I'm not. But I got to make sure I get clearance for that before I do it. But we're going to be able to I don't know how many people are going to show up, but I think that event's floating around on Facebook. If you could make sure that it's posted somewhere people see it. But we're going to base how many we're cooking for based on the interested in going, and then whatever we have that's extra, that can carry over for the second one, we'll do that. But then also we're arranging for some donations to some of our local schools, the family resource centers, for some hygiene products, and then we're going to make sure that the leftover food is put in places that will be gotten out and be given to people that are in need.
Yeah.
And so, talk about a chance for a community to stand up and show out, and I'm just, it gives me goosebumps as I've been involved in this process and starting to see what these guys are doing. And it all started with Ezekiel's vision, and and Nate kind of has the reputation of being the guy with his ear to the ground, knowing what's going on and being connected. He's doing the promotion and putting it out. Erin's doing the job that nobody wants to do. She's organizing everything, and she's a spreadsheet queen. And I'm doing whatever needs to be done, and really, kind of helping promote and get into some circles, and then also for planning the second one. So I'm excited. It's going to be. I think this is the kind of thing that it sounds funny because you don't think about one little thing starting something big, but this is the kind of thing that we do it a couple of times. There'll be other communities that'll do it, and you will create a momentum and a ripple effect and a wave of just positive impact that'll come from it because somebody had an idea. They had enough courage to speak up. They didn't worry about all the answers. They took action, started putting it together. They found some people to get on the team. Ezekiel did that, got it going, and now the ball's rolling downhill. And it's going to be crazy what we're going to do with it.
Yes, I think it's a great idea, and we'll be promoting whatever I'm told to promote about it. So that's for sure. So we'll switch over here to wrapping things up. I was just checking to see if there are any more comments. It looks like Amy Robertson said, thank you. I don't know if she probably meant Michelle.
That's all right.
Brittany.
Well, I mentioned Amber earlier. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. So, so that's great. Thank you for commenting, Amy. Thank you much. And then we had a couple others, but I think I already showed them. Here is Amber saying, I love watching y'all's videos. Gives me great places to visit. And
I'm gonna have to fuss at her because she's watching. She's at work.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, this is a good community show. You should be able to watch this at work. Yeah,
That's right. Hey, not knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe said, right?
That's right. And let's see. I think that's pretty much all the comments. Before I get into the final call to action and ending, anybody got any shout outs? I know I got one. My mom had her birthday on Halloween. So happy birthday, Mother.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a shout out.
Sure.
The Hardin local, the Phil, the effort and the work that you guys are putting in, and to be able to do this. And, I admire the vision. I admire the execution. And the community, I hope that they relate, that you feel the appreciation for what you're doing, and the good and the positive and what you guys are doing. I hope that that's reflected, that you feel that coming back to you from the community.
Thank you. It's good to hear. Last week was a little rough. We got a lot of negative comments, but that happens. I did this for a few years before I shut it down and relaunched it. And you just got to have thick skin when you're doing this sort of thing. So it's nice to hear.
Haters gonna hate.
What's up? Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. Sorry, I'm also working on the clock, so that's why I've had to been out. So. Haters are gonna hate. No one cares about it.
Yeah, it happens, but it's okay. We'd rather you engage our content, just don't be hateful. So but if you're gonna be negative, you can still come comment. Maybe we can turn you into a non-negative person by being nice. We'll kill you with kindness. How about that? You guys got anybody you wanted to shout out to? Britton or Michelle? Anything? Got it all done?
Think so.
I think so. Thanks for
All right.
helping us spread the word about our businesses and what we're doing on social media. And like I said, we'll share the love with you guys and spread you to more.
One
Yes.
thing I do, I want to echo, the community aspect of it. In a retail business, sometimes we have people that feel bad because they're in a position where they financially can't support us. That happens, and all of us have people that are like that in there, in our circles for our services, our businesses, and everything else like that. But one of the things I want all the listeners to hear today is that there are 3 things that you can do that will make a huge difference in whether it's at Bourbon Barrel or whether it's at Scott's business or whatever it is. And those 3 words are like, comment, and share. And I think it's free. It takes a little bit of time, and that's a great way to support somebody. If maybe what they do is not what you're into. Like I said, I don't drink, but that doesn't mean that I can't share Bourbon Barrel's events, and share what's going on and comment on it and engage and give that time. And now the other part of that is for our listeners in the community, that's huge for you to be able to do that. The second part of that is that as business owners, we are obligated to do that for each other.
Yes, sir.
The minimum that we can do is to like, comment, share, promote, and there's some benefit to it, because I promise you that if Red Brick Cottage, if she goes on as Red Brick Cottage and she likes something, she comments on it, and then she shares it, then that's going to go to her network. But then also that page that she does that for, then she's exposing the Red Brick Cottage to potentially thousands of new people just because she's being engaging and doing those things. So we can solve a lot of problems from a business standpoint if we think about everybody else from a standpoint of let's do 3 things: let's like, let's comment, and let's share.
I try to go to 10 other business pages a week and do that. It's like part of my personal goals as a small business is I go to 10 other businesses and I like their posts. I may do a simple comment, even something as simple as, wow, that looks good. Oh, great idea. Oh, great photo. Even just something as simple as that, to get that up there, get that interaction on their page. And I would hope other businesses would do that back as well. Like I said, just share that love is the best thing you can do for any small business, no matter what that business is. Do it. It's so important. Because if you don't, the small businesses are not going to survive, and you're going to be left with nothing but the big box junk. None of us
all the negative parts of having these little phones in our hands all the time. Here's one positive thing you can do about it. You don't have to be in the presence of your network to share businesses that help. And that's what we're asking you to do right now for us. Scan this QR code up here or go to hardinlocal.com and complete our Hardin Local checklist. It'll walk you through subscribing to our email list, following us on Facebook, which you should do right now if you're watching and you haven't done it yet. And then our TikTok and our YouTube channel as well, and Instagram, even though it's my least favorite.
You know how you know someone that needs encouragement? They're breathing.
Oh, yeah. That's a fact.
So, like I said, be positive, give that time to somebody, give them a little bit of attention and do everything you can. And the more we do that, I think the more that rising tide will lift all of our ships here in the Hardin community.
Work together.
And before we close, go ahead. Very, very welcome. Very welcome. And we'll talk after, but I think, we should definitely do this more often. So we'll figure that out and we'll let everybody else know what we figure out. But before I closed out, there was one event that I did forget, but I have it right here. Apparently, there is a new Norton's Children's campus, pediatric care campus in Louisville that's being built. That's going to be more than 150 acres in Jeffersontown, Kentucky. And they're having an event at GC Burkhead this Thursday at 6:00. It's called Follow the Balloons. It's a community listening session. So I think they're just coming down. They want to share updates about this. I think it's a pretty big deal for, to have this in our region an hour away. And they just want to know whether you're a parent, educator, caregiver, or community member, you can impact the future of kids' health by coming to this event and kind of like listening and providing feedback, which, it's a big deal. And that'll be at 6 p.m. GC Burkhead this Thursday. And with that, we thank you guys for joining us today. And I know we went long, and I can tell that John O'Brien is starving right now. So I know I am too. So I think we all are after watching that food. And this is our official longest stream. So we thank you guys for the ones that stuck around, and we'll see you next week.